Hello and welcome to Hashtag Success Power Tools. My name is Phillip Ramphisa. This is a show where we speak to people who've achieved to find out how they make it happen, because we all can learn from each other and we all can improve towards our processes to achieve our goals. Our aim is to help you remain inspired, move mountains, and not dare give up on your dreams. Today we're speaking to Karabo Mokone. Karabo had a remarkable achievement. He achieved 7 distinctions in his matric. Matric exams are around the corner, and so we're speaking to Karabo to find out how it gets done. So stay tuned to find out how it gets done right here on Hashtag Success Power Tools. Hi Karabo, how are you doing? It's Philip here. Welcome to Hashtag Success Power Tools. Karabo, this is a show where we talk to people that have achieved success and we ask them how they do it. How are you doing?
No, very well. It's wonderful to be here. I never really considered myself an achiever. That's quite cool. Very.
You know what? I told my listeners that you've achieved 7 distinctions, which is a major achievement. But before we continue, I just would like you to just tell us a little about yourself, so the listeners have got an appreciation of who you are.
Okay. Where do I start? Well, I'm 19 years old. Yeah, I just recently turned 19. I'm from Mudeti. I went to secondary school. That is where I did my grade 11 and 12. And yeah, about me, I'm really an open book. Like, I'm all about just doing my best. And one thing that I like to do is, win. Like, that is my passion.
Yeah.
I just love it. So, yeah, pretty much there isn't much to me except just that I'm a person who is highly motivated, especially given where I'm from and how I've been raised. So that has been a big driving factor for me.
Okay. So, Karabo, 7 distinctions. A remarkable achievement. Just tell us how you did it, how you kept yourself focused. What was your study routine like?
Yeah, like it's something that definitely didn't happen overnight. I've always been looking at how far can I go as far as performance is concerned, and it was not just in grade 12. In grade 11, around June, that was the first time I ever achieved 7 distinctions. So then I tried it a few times. Sometimes it didn't work, but in 2015, it really clicked for me, because then I managed to achieve it throughout the whole year. So the key was just really working consistently. It was not about really sleeping late or anything. It was just about working consistently day in, day out. Whenever I go to school, it was all about just getting out there and just giving my best, really, like concentrating every minute. And which is something which is pretty hard. Like, it's easy to say in theory, just go, okay, listen throughout, but practicing it is something else, because there are so many distractions, But yeah, really just concentrating in class and just making use of resources as well. Like, I had things like Learning Channel that was also quite good, and also my own books as well. So I do really dedicate about 1 hour of just watching some extra lessons on Learning Channel, and then another hour of just studying, and then that would be that, then do my homework. So it really sounds quite simple, but what it is that it's a cumulative process. When you do it consistently every single day, then it builds up to something bigger, instead of just studying for like 3, 4, 5 hours a day, and then you don't study the next day or that other day, and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I like what you're saying when you say it wasn't an overnight thing. You've tried it many times, and yeah, it kind of, when you got to grade 12, that's when it kind of worked. Tell me, when you say that you tried it too many times, you are you saying that you've tried to get distinctions previously in grade 11, maybe in grade 10, and it didn't work that well? What was happening there? What didn't work? Because I'm sure we can learn from what didn't work also. What didn't work at the time when you tried?
Okay, like basically in grade 11, well, what I would try is to go for 7 distinctions, but usually I'd fall short on like 6. Usually I just got 6, so
Okay.
I couldn't really max it to the fullest, you see. So that's what I mean when I said no. I kept trying. I meant trying for 7 distinctions, so I'd get 6. So when I get 6, that's when I say no, it didn't work. So yeah, I think one of the reasons why at first getting the full 7 was a bit tricky was because I needed to find a balance for all my subjects and to dedicate like each time to every single subject accordingly, depending on how difficult am I finding it, what I'm good at, what I'm not so good at. So what I did really, I believe it was only a matter of time, but I started just cutting in a bit more time to what I wasn't good at, which was always missing out on that little one subject. And sometimes when I'd be writing my examinations, and then I'd feel okay, so far I've gotten 5, then okay, I've got 6. Then for that 7th one, I'd feel okay, I'd feel the pressure of like, okay, this is it now, I have to go for the full 7. Then I just find that no, I fall short. But to remedy that, I realized that I needed a bit more composure as well, and just to keep calm and just do what I've been doing all this while. Just keep on doing the same things that got me those other 6 distinctions. Then eventually I got the hang of it. So yeah, it turned out quite nicely.
Yeah, to me it sounds like it's a process. Like you've got to adapt, and you've got to see what works and what doesn't work, and you've got to, I think, find maybe your study routine and your study process. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like it's a process. It's
it really is.
You've got to start. But have you always been a higher achiever? I mean, were you a higher achiever in grade 7 or grade 5? Has that always been your have you always been a higher achiever, Karabo? Or did it just start when you were getting into grade 11 and grade 12 maybe? In your grade 5, were you always a higher achiever also?
Yeah, like I like to believe so, because in primary school I was really doing well. From really grade 1 up to I think grade 8, and then I went and I switched schools from my primary school. Then I went to high school, and then when I was in grade 9, I slacked off a bit, because just changing to the new environment, all of a sudden doing different subjects, and it was just quite a mess. But yeah, in grade 9 and 10, it wasn't really clicking then, because even my marks weren't really all that good. So for me, it was a really tough time, because coming from primary school, and seeing how I've been performing there, that's something that I kept at the back of my mind as I was going through grade 9 and grade 10. I always believed that, I have it in me to do well, because I've seen previously that, I can actually do well. But when the results aren't going your way, it's quite hard to hold on to that hope, that faith that, no, I can do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like to believe that, I have always been a high achiever, but yeah, sometimes, but there was a time when things weren't so rosy. Yeah.
Hello, Karabo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, so Tell me about study methods. Study methods have always been interesting in a way because there's so many different ideas about which study method to use. Some people just read and they kind of memorize what they read. Other people try to write maps. They try to have process maps that they use so they can remember what they study. Others come up with this, these short letters when somebody studies math, soccer, tour, so that you can remember that, the opposite is this and that. There's all kinds of study methods. What is your comment regarding study methods? What study method do you use?
Well, for me, really, I don't really have a specific study method because what I do is that I'm constantly changing it in order to keep on adapting, keep on improving it based on what I'm doing at that particular time. And it's something that I'm pretty grateful for because in varsity now I realize that no, having a fixed study method doesn't always work in all cases.
Yeah.
You need to have that degree of adaptability. But what I do when I study is, say for subjects like math, what I do is that I would focus less on doing theory, then I try to do more questions, see where I get it wrong, then look at some answers and then try again, then keep going until I get confident in how I'm doing questions and how I'm interpreting them.
Okay.
But when it comes to other subjects, maybe subjects which are more theory-based, like maybe say physics.
Yeah.
There, I find it quite rewarding to keep on looking at the theory, and after reading the theory, try to picture like what is happening. Like it's very difficult to picture some things. Like to picture something like talk.
Yeah.
It's not easy to really visualize, but try and ask questions. And look for answers. Like think about the theory that you see there, then ask yourself questions about it, like what you're unsure about. Then once those small questions are answered, then you really understand the theory, then applying it becomes so much easier. So for me, studying, it just depends on what I'm studying and really what does it mean.
I see. So do you have favorite subjects? I mean, did you have favorite subjects when you were doing grade 12? Because 7 distinctions, man, we can't predict what your favorite subject is. It's almost like you like everything. But did you have a favorite subject?
I didn't really have a favorite subject, but if I would choose, I would say life orientation. That was my favorite subject because, well, it was the easiest of my subjects. I found it to be the easiest. So, yeah, I'd say that was my favorite. And it's not really a popular choice. Normally when people ask me, like, what was your favorite subject? They expect me to say something like math or physics.
Yeah.
But, I like life orientation and really what it's about. It's so practical, and really appeals to almost everyone. So, I like it.
Okay, I get it. Okay, and now what about teachers? I know it's a dangerous question, but what about teachers? Was there like a teacher where you felt like, oh man, this class, this teacher, I'm probably gonna fall asleep? Was there anything like that for you, or you just prepared all the teachers equally?
No, I really just looked at all the teachers equally. But then again, whenever I went to school, I always told myself that I'm just going there to go and look at my book, study. But I like to believe that I didn't really rely a lot on teachers. Like I had a lot of confidence in the way I could read something, then make sense of it just like that. So I never really had a favorite teacher or least favorite teacher, So But hey, not there were a couple that I thought, yeah, this could be tough. Hey, but yeah, no, nah, I didn't really focus on it. I just saw them all as equals, really.
Yeah. So, Karabo, it's not, I mean, I feel that it's not easy being young these days. And I say that because when I did grade 12, personally, when I did grade 12, life was quite a little bit different. I mean, there were no cell phones and there wasn't a lot of social media. And so I feel like being young these days, there's just so many choices to make. And obviously, young people are attracted more to fun, hey? So sometimes you get to choose between maybe going to a party with friends or being on your cell phone and taking selfies and studying. So in my perception, and that's just my perception, in my perception, it seems like it might be much more easier for an average younger person to just prefer going to a party or spending time on social media instead of sitting on a desk and study. How do you make those choices? What keeps you focused? How do you make those choices? What keeps you focused? How do you choose?
Like, just like any other teenager, like I also like my fair share of social media, I'm not really a party person, but how I make my choices, it mostly depends on what I need to do. Like sometimes I look at the amount of work, how much I've studied, and how far am I in terms of the work that I need to get covered, what am I still unsure about. So usually if everything is under control, or I think it's relatively under control, be there, social media, take my fair share of selfies too. But but once I'm done with that, then I'd just be just talking to people, and then just get back to studying. Really, like studying is more. It's all about frequency. How often you do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it in big chunks. Just do it every now and then. Study as frequently as possible.
Okay.
So making that choice, I just look at the work I need to do, then go from there.
Okay. So what would you say motivates you, Karabo? What motivates you?
Well, what motivates me, I feel like that has always been one of the most hardest questions I've ever had.
Yeah.
I've ever asked myself personally to say what motivates me. But when I narrow it down, I look at where I'm from, and people's expectations of me, throughout high school and varsity, that expectation to do well.
Yeah.
That serves as a lot of motivation for me, because I don't like letting people down, that's for sure. And also my family, they also motivate me a lot, because they keep reminding me why I do what I do, like why I have to go for the high marks, because just getting distinctions is it is quite fun, but above all of that, I need to make sure that I get marks which are good enough for my sponsors, and to keep my bursaries and everything in check. So that always motivates me, like where do I go from there, challenging myself and just the people around me, expectations. That is a big driving force. I like to do what people expect me to do, because they believe I can do it. So then I believe I can do it.
Oh.
So yeah.
So now, Karabo, which university are you going to, and what are you studying?
I'm already in university. I just finished my first semester there. I'm in the University of Pretoria. I'm studying mechanical engineering.
Oh, okay. Did you get bursaries? Did you find it easy to get bursaries for university? Or I can't expect that you did, but did you find it easy?
Yeah, it wasn't all that easy though, because initially I applied for FASO, so I was called there, and we had to write these exams with these students and honor students. It was quite intense, writing an exam with an honor student right next to you, and I was still in grade 11. But in the end, I ended up going with Sekhukhune District Municipality. They now sponsor me, because then it's much closer to home than SASO, and also because it's right from home. I really love where I'm from, so that is really what I went with.
Yeah. How was How was the transition between university and high school? Did you find it challenging, or did you just find it easy to adapt and just go on with your normal study routine? How was that transition?
It was not easy by any means, For me, that is because, some people are different. Some people adapt much more easily than me, I believe. But the transition was a bit tricky, because moving to a new place, new weather, people, food there, I really wasn't enjoying myself one bit. So it wasn't really easy, just, settling in and going about my business as I usually would. It took me some time to get used to the setting, and also not just the environment, but also academics as well, because academically it's more different than it is in high school. Take subjects like physics. I also did physics in varsity. It was a lot different to what I did in high school. The questions were more integrated. It had multiple concepts all integrated into one question. Unlike in high school, it was more one-dimensional. So that was something that took some getting used to. But fortunately, I finally got a hold of myself, and I adapted pretty well, I think. So all well and well.
Wow. So Karabo, class of 2016. I mean, you were class of 2015, right? So class of 2016. I really wish we can see more of talented people like you. But what I would like you to do now is to just give your number one advice to the current class of 2016. I mean, it's June now, so soon the grade 12s will be writing their exams. So what is the number one greatest tip that you can give them so that they're able to, try and achieve as much as they can?
Like, my number one advice, it wouldn't be, say, something straightforward like work hard. No. My number one advice is give your best. Like, if you're not prepared to give your best, then don't try it. Like, that is what I've always used. That is something that I firmly believe in, that when I go into an examination, I tell myself that when I go in there, I'll give my best. If not, I'd rather not do anything. So my advice to the class of 2016, go into those exams, give your best, believe in what you're doing, and make sure you do the work, because as much as giving your best can work, but you need to also just make sure that you know your work, you've done all you could, you've practiced, and you have it down. So that would be that.
Wow, man, you're an inspiration. Karabo, before somebody leaves the show, I always ask them to shout out. And when they shout out, I ask them to say #success power tools. So I'd like you to say that.
Wait, what's what?
It's #success power tools, but you gotta shout it out. So try it.
Oh, I have to shout out success power tool.
Yeah, but it starts with a hashtag. So you gotta say hashtag success power tools.
Okay. Okay, I'm not really good at shouting.
Most people find it awkward. That's what makes it fun. So try it out.
Okay. Hashtag success power tool.
Thanks, man. You're such an inspiration. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
That was incredible. Thank you so much for listening. Even I have learned from this interview. And what I've learned is that you've got to work on something. You've got to dedicate yourself, and you've got to give yourself time, and you've got to watch your progress. And watching your progress doesn't mean that you always have to focus on results, but you have to pay attention to how you improve on your process towards achieving your result. And so this has been incredible for me. I've learned a lot. I've also learned a lot about having consistency as you pursue your goals, and kind of seeing what works and what doesn't work, so that you continuously change and improve. So this has been an incredible interview. I hope you learned something from it. Remember to get in touch with me. Go to www.PhillipRamphisa.com. And remember, as always, to remain inspired, move mountains, and not dare give up on your dreams. I'm out.